We're Keka and Manu.
And we're traveling around the world. Follow us.
Take a moment to remember this image, this house, and this special place. Because today they will be the true stars of our video. But first, let me ask you something. Have you heard of the time tunnel on the island of La Palma? If you've ever had this experience, you surely remember it. And if not, I hope one day you can enjoy it. You see, the island's unique topography makes something magical possible. The moisture-laden trade winds arrive from the northeast and get trapped in the mountains of the Cumbre Palmera. This causes one side of the island, the east side, to be covered in clouds, with low fog and even drizzle. Meanwhile, when you cross the famous old Cumbre tunnel, which is just over a kilometer long, you're greeted by a radiant sun and a completely clear sky. It's like time travel in a matter of seconds, an experience that only La Palma can offer. And all of this happens thanks to a natural phenomenon called the phone effect. When the humid air rises up the northern slope, it cools and forms clouds. But as it crosses the summit and descends into the El Paso Valley, the air heats up and dries, causing the clouds to cascade down the mountain like a true waterfall of clouds. We're driving along the San Nicolas Road, heading towards Tajogaite, the volcano that a few years ago changed the lives and landscape of La Palma forever. Let me set the scene for you. September 2021. I was at my house in the Las Manchas area on the island of La Palma with my oldest son. Suddenly everything starts to shake. We hear the wood in the ceiling creaking. My son, in disbelief, doesn't understand what's happening. Neither do I. We went back to sleep. And after a few minutes, the whole house shook again. We ran outside, sat down, and while we were out there, we suddenly heard another noise coming from under the ground, and everything started to shake again. That was the beginning of Tajogaite. And so on September 19th, the earth finally opened up in the Cabeza de Vaca area. And well, here we are on the San Nicolas Road, which, as incredible as it seems, was the one I used every day to get to my house. Look at how high the lava has reached. And of course, this road is one of those that to this day, almost 3 years later, has not been rebuilt. And everything remains as if time has stood still. And it was 3 months of not just lava, ash and chaos. For 3 months, we, the people of La Palma, had to fight side by side to overcome a situation few of us had ever known. But make no mistake, the island of La Palma is very much alive, just like the island of El Hierro. In fact, my father lived through 3 volcanoes, from 1938 to 2021, and more will come. The earth is alive. We're heading to the center of El Paso, the largest municipality on the island, for a unique experience, to see the Tajogaite volcano from within its very core.
We're here at the entrance of La Palma Outdoors. Today we're taking a route through the Tajogaite volcano. We're delving into the living history of La Palma, its most recent volcano. Right as you start the trail, you have to go through a security checkpoint. You can't do this route unless you're with a private guide. You have to book one. No, you can't just come on your own. We pass the security checkpoint and head towards the volcano. The landscape is spectacular. All this gravel we see here, all this sand. It all came with the volcano's explosion. It all fell right here, and look, that That's what created this landscape. It's incredible. This year marks 4 years since the volcano's eruption, and look how green everything is. Even though we're only a kilometer from the volcano right now, and all these pyroclasts made it this far, these pine trees never burned. Why? Because the lava consumed all the oxygen around the volcano, and that kept all this vegetation from burning. And the Canary pine is the only one that grows back after it burns.
In this area right here, during the eruption, up to 50 centimeters of ash fell. Everything we can see all around us is still, to this day, ash from the Tajogaite volcano. Throughout the entire trail, we keep finding pine needles, or pinocha as they call them, depending on which Canary Island you're on. Here in La Palma, they call it pinillo. To know if it's a Canary pine, you have to look at the needles. In this case, there are 3. This is unique to the Canary pine. Through them, it absorbs water from the atmosphere and the clouds. This water then falls to the ground as drops, creating moisture that sustains the pine itself and also the local wildlife. The island of La Palma is one of the youngest in the Canary archipelago, along with El Hierro. It's only about 2 million years old. For comparison, Lanzarote and Fuerteventura are between 24 and 26 million years old. These volcanoes in the southern part of the island, which is the only active area, because the entire northern area, for example Garafía, where we were a few days ago, is completely dormant. The only part of the island that is still active is the south, from the Caldera de Taburiente down towards the peak, and the volcanoes here, like Tajogaite, are from a single explosion. They explode once and that's it, unlike other volcanoes that continue to explode in the same area for years. The Tajogaite mountain, once the eruption ended, reached a height of 189 meters. It's worth noting that we're now going to see the mountain at that height, but this area used to be a hillside, meaning there wasn't an existing mountain where the volcano erupted, it was simply a hillside. Of course, everything the volcano spewed out is what gave it its current height of 189 meters.
Seeing all the dust that's being kicked up as we walk, we should mention that now, 4 years after the volcano's eruption, many illnesses are appearing in people who went to clean their homes or who helped others clean their houses. The microparticles in the ash, you breathe them in and they get lodged in your lungs, and now many illnesses are emerging. We're in a living laboratory. Look at these 2 pine trees, located just 5 meters from each other. Why is one alive and the other dead? It's because there are conduits under the ground. It didn't affect the living pine, but it did affect the dead one because it touched its roots. It changed the pH and this pine died. Now we'll see another example up ahead. Look where the volcano is, just 300 meters away. And here we have the example of the 2 pines. The pine that's still alive and the one that died, affected by a conduit that runs underground and touched its root. Look at this beautiful, lovely fig tree. Just look at it. Look.
And it's full of figs.
But these are late figs because figs are from another season. Spectacular. Look at this fig tree. Look at this fig tree back here. Look at all those fig trees. Wow. When this bears figs, it has about 2-3 weeks left.
By the way, you might be wondering why there are fig trees here in the middle of nowhere. Well, there are fig trees, chestnut trees, and grapevines. And all of this is because in the past, people would buy, or the town council would grant them, a piece of land in the middle of the pine forest, in the middle of nowhere. They would build small tool sheds to store their tools, and so they dedicated themselves to cultivating all these types of fruit trees, which obviously are neither endemic nor typical of this area. That's why we still find many fig trees and vineyards that need very little water. Just like the chestnut tree, which takes advantage of the humidity in the environment from foggy and rainy days to store moisture in its roots, and it survives with very little water.
From here we can see, here we have the volcano and below we have the valley. El Paso is here on the right, Los Llanos de Aridane is below, and Tazacorte is in the background. If this volcano had erupted a kilometer further away, this was already a disaster. But a volcano a kilometer further away would have been devastating. And if you come on this route, what's better than eating a Canary Islands banana to regain your strength? All right, do you see this series of pine trees that are all burnt? Well, it's what we were talking about earlier. If we could see a satellite image from the air, we would see that there's a whole row of burnt pines with everything green to its right and everything green to its left. All of that is due to a fissure that's under the ground, and it has burned the roots of those pines along that same vertical line. Here we have the volcano, and on this ridge of this mountain of old volcanoes there were like aquifers, and that has caused, with the heating of the earth, for there to be holes where water vapor comes out. So if you put your hand in, you can feel that water vapor. The thing is, it's been very hot this summer and you can't see the fumaroles that usually come out, but you can feel them. You can feel them perfectly. This is one of the fascinating holes where you actually put your hand in deep. Whoa! And you can really feel that absolutely brutal, intense heat. But what comes out, look at this wet, muddy earth. It's water vapor. It's not any kind of dangerous acid or toxic gas or anything harmful, just water vapor. And here we have the majestically beautiful Tajogaite volcanic formation. A spectacle of colors too, huh?
The truth is, it's turned out beautiful, huh? It depends on where you see it from. The curious thing about Tajogaite is that if you see it from the south side, it looks like a completely round mountain. If you see it from the front, from the Aridane Valley, it looks like a single volcanic cone. And yet, if you see it from behind, you can better appreciate the 6 vents it left after the eruption. From behind, it's super beautiful because that's where you see the colors the most. It's true that when it finished erupting, it was left completely black from the ash, and these colors have been settling. This color from the gases has settled over time and has made it beautiful. But above all, it's curious that each side you see of the volcano is different. And this, well, the truth is we don't know either, but given the area, it's very likely it was an old tool shed that was converted into a house over the years. It had solar panels, it had a chimney, so you can see it was what they call a bodega here, which are the typical houses for summering, for weekends.
What a devastating image, huh? All these burnt pine trees, but at the same time, with the beauty of the volcano in the background, it's a contrast of feelings. We're now on the gentle slope of the volcano, and look, you can already start to see nature slowly sprouting again. Surely in just a few years from now, maybe 20, maybe 30, this whole area will be green again, lush and beautiful and full of pine trees. Well, now we're sitting on the crest of one of the craters. You can see a crater there, a crater behind. And the smell of sulfur, it's not very strong, but you can also feel it. The view we have from here is impressive. The different colors. During the eruption, up to 9 craters could be counted. Nowadays, up to 6 can be counted. With all the movement of the volcano, 3 disappeared and 6 remained. The height that the lava managed to reach, it had so much force that the plume reached up to 600 meters. The pyroclast, or the ash, not only reached all the Canary Islands, but it reached the peninsula, and it's said that it even reached America. Imagine the power this volcano had. And now we're going to show you pictures of how we experienced the volcano.
Well, to begin with, he didn't open the door for me and I had to jump in. And you can't imagine how thick it is. Covered in ash everywhere. And there are little animals around here. Well, that's how it is. You may recall that the video started here, in the residential area of Todok, the town that was swallowed by the volcano. This area withstood almost 3 months, until just 10 days before the end of the eruption, a new mouth in a cracked mountain launched a very liquid lava that in a matter of minutes swept away everything that remained. We are at the home of Ana Viña, one of the victims of the volcano. She has allowed us access to her home, which is quite painful for her. Especially because, as you may have seen in the images, she has had to fence off all the surroundings of the house because she constantly had to deal with people entering the house without authorization, not only because of the state of the house, which you can see in the images and the danger that this entails, but also because of the pain of finding people in a place that has meant so much to them. For them, it is disrespectful that people do not respect, to use a redundant phrase, these places of so much pain. Thank you so much, Anna, first of all, for agreeing to do this. We know it brings up a lot, even though it's been 4 years. And we wanted to start by asking you, how do you remember the days when the eruption began?
Well, I remember the eruption started, actually, it was a week before the eruption. We were here on this terrace, 20 people celebrating my mother's birthday. Thank God, by the first tremor, there was no one left. I made sure no one was left because otherwise it was very complicated. It was a week. How can I put it? With a lot of mixed feelings, and we knew that given the magnitude, it was imminent.
Because you were telling me, that you were right here outside when you suddenly heard the roar? I mean, the explosion itself happened while you were here at home?
I saw the volcano burst. I was outside, I was here. We saw let's say, the pop from the 12 vents that fractured. In fact, we saw landslides and dust, and at first we thought it had already erupted. That wasn't the case. It was the fissure, and it was exactly where we saw that cloud of dust and rocks moving that we later saw with that cloud of vapor and earth that rose up.
And what did you take with you? When you knew you had to evacuate, I mean, what was that moment like? Did you have to literally run out? Did you have time to grab anything? Were you evacuated immediately? Did the police come? What was it like?
No, we only grabbed the dogs. I had an anxiety attack because my feeling was that we didn't have time, that we weren't going to have time to get out. I remember that as soon as we got out, there were tourists stopped in the middle of the road taking pictures. And I think I gave them a piece of my mind, because it seemed incredible to me that in that moment, a moment where we were living through something where life was the priority and we had to run for it, people were just stopped taking pictures and so on. In fact, for a long time, I kept hearing the screams of a woman. Because when we got to what used to be the Todok crossroads, everything collapsed. We hadn't even reached the main road. The road to Las Manchas, Todok, and there's a crossroads there. There was a little shop with two local roads, and everything was gridlocked. And I remember hearing the screams of a woman saying, "Please, please, those of us on the side roads also have the right to get out." Because what's commonly called zipper merging, to let everyone out, here it was just every man for himself, and that was it.
Everyone was just cutting in.
Exactly.
And how do you live, Anna, if it can even be put into words, with the uncertainty of not knowing what's going to happen to your home, to your house, where you have not only your belongings, but your memories, which is perhaps the most painful part of all?
It's very hard to lose your memories. It's very hard to lose all the childhood memories of your children. Of course, it's hard. But now, turn the page. It's not easy, and I say this after all these years. And I say this knowing that many of us have been deeply affected, especially the elderly, who you take away from their homes, their land, their little animals, their gardens. I know for many, it hasn't been easy. I know many who have lost their health. I know some who are no longer with us, and I'm convinced the volcano took its toll on them.
Because you also told us, well, we know because you're family and we lived it with you, but we want our listeners to almost experience it as you tell the story. You spent nearly 3 months for almost the entire eruption driving all the way around the island because obviously the access roads were cut off by the lava. You drive all the way around the island to get here. You had several terraces and you had to keep them clean because at first it's true that the lava from Todok passed by your side, stopping about 100 meters from your home, and you held out hope until the very end. Tell us what that was like. You were cleaning, and at the last minute, in the final days?
Yes, it's true that I held on. Let's see, the day it erupted, my mother always tells me that I was very clear from the first moment because it was right above the exit gate of the house. And I told my mother, word for word, that it wouldn't make it. As the days went by, I have to thank all those people who, not just my family, who were by my side the whole time, but also friends, people I didn't know at all and who I met in those moments of support, of help. To this day, I have a great friendship with them and consider them my own family. People who, with no connection to me, would call me every day just to hear me cry, and I have to be thankful. You leave with nothing but the clothes on your back. I remember that I evacuated at first to El Paso. And I remember I had to ask my daughter to tell me which way to go because I didn't even know where I was going. It's very difficult to come back. But above all, after everything, when you get used to the idea that you're escaping, the worst part is losing it in the last week before the volcano went out.
How did you find out that your house was finally... you probably remember the day. Was it early December, maybe?
Well, that's something I've blocked out because I was in Santa Cruz de la Palma. It was the Noche Blanca in Santa Cruz de la Palma, and the girl I was working with had a headache, and I told her, "Come on, let's close up, let's go eat and get some fresh air." And suddenly, while we were talking and walking with her, because she, like all my staff, was also mostly from Todok, and she was in the same situation as I was. When the southern lava flow was active, it didn't affect us. But when we had the northern flow, we would worry, knowing that on weekends we were left with no information at all. This was on a Saturday. Then suddenly, My phone starts going off, messages start coming in, beep, 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 and I thought, well, that's strange. And I start, and she tells me, well, read them. So I started, and I see everyone, Anna, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Damn. And I thought, what's going on? Until I get a phone call from my only neighbor who also, he went to school with my son, completely devastated, crying nonstop. This is shit, I'm so sorry, a big hug. And I was silent because I understood absolutely nothing. Something I do want to say is I perfectly understand that this gets a lot of attention. And what's more, I ask people, please, to come. It's the way La Palma has to move forward through tourism, so they can see this. This is a wonder of nature. A very different thing is people trespassing, right? With that, you know well that I don't support that, because here, I've cried a lot. Me, my daughter, here, my family has cried a lot for me. I have all of Todok, many friends, a lot of family. So for me to have to write on the outside respect, and the first thing I have to do is fence off a piece of land. That's very painful. When I'm here and people ask me and I'm here, I invite them to come in. But it's so sad when I arrive and see that the roof is collapsing, reckless people on top of it, or taking things from inside the property as souvenirs and all that. There's a lot of pain here. The only thing I ask is not for me, but for all those affected, that they come, that they see, that they take photos, but with respect.
The volcano is there to be seen, the island is there to be visited, but you have to respect people's pain. I know for a fact we've lived it. First, some no entry signs were put up here. Countless things have been put up. It was fenced off. And even after fencing it, they had to paint the walls, as you've just seen in the images, in large letters, respect, because they kept finding people here daily. So please keep coming to the island of La Palma. Indeed, as Anna says, this is a wonder of nature. The volcano is just a few meters from here, but the homes must be respected. Thank you very much, Anna, because we know that this is a place that for you, then, as you say, there are many tears here, a lot of sadness, but, well, she is a symbol of the island's resurgence, of the strong people of the island of La Palma, who have managed to come out of this almost stronger than before. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.